Hello friends, welcome back to Circle Time. Did you enjoy your brain break? Excellent. Well, now it's time for our daily message. Our daily message tells us what we're learning about today. Let's read today's message. Communities have places where we can learn. Okay, now let's read it one more time. But this time, you read with me. I'll read and you can repeat. Ready? Communities have places where we can learn. Excellent work reading, friends. Okay, before we talk about our message, we are going to be letter detectives. We are going to look for our letter of the week. Do you remember what letter we're learning this week? It makes the N sound. It's the letter N. The letter N makes the N sound. Can you say that with me? The letter N makes the N sound. Excellent. Okay, we're going to put our uppercase and lowercase N on the board. And then we're going to put our detective goggles on. Great. Can you find the letter N in our message today? There are a few of them. Can you find them? Did you find an N in our message? Excellent. Let's follow along the message and see if we can find it together. We'll start at the top on the left. That's how we read. Ready? We're looking for the letter N. When you see me pointing to an N, you can say stop. I'm looking for the letter N. Remember, say stop when I'm pointing to an N. Did you say stop? If you did, great work. This is the letter N. Is it an uppercase N or a lowercase N? It's a lowercase N. Okay, let's see if we can find the other N's in our message. We're looking for the letter N. It can be an uppercase N or a lowercase N. No more N's on this line. Let's go down one line and back to the left, and then we'll keep moving to the right. Remember, say stop when you see me pointing to an N. No more N's on this line. Let's go down one line and back to the left and keep looking. Say stop when I'm pointing to an N. Did you say stop? Excellent work. This is an N. Is it our uppercase N or our lowercase N? It's a lowercase N. Okay, let's see if we have any more N's in our message. Stop right here. Let's keep moving to the right. We're looking for an N. Did you say stop? If you did, great work. This is the letter N. It's another lowercase N. Awesome work, friends. That's the end of our message. I see a period. So that means we found all the N's. Let's see how many N's are in today's message. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 N's in our message today, and you helped me find all of them. Well, awesome work. Okay, now that we found our 3 N's, it's time to read our message one more time, and then we'll talk about it. Ready? Communities have places where we can learn. Today, we are learning about places in the community where we can learn things. There are many places in a community where you can learn. One place is a school. There are many schools in a community. Children go to school to learn different things. There's also colleges where adults go to school and they learn different things as well. And at colleges, some adults learn different trades where they can be community helpers in their community. A community helper that works at a school is called a teacher. That's our word of the day. Can you say teacher? Excellent. A teacher is someone who teaches someone about a topic. I am a teacher. I teach you from Miss April's classroom. Your parents can be your teacher, or you can go to school and have a different person as your teacher. There are teachers all over the community. Let's add the word teacher to our word wall. So, we just learned that we can go to a school to learn different things. Other places in our community where we can go to learn something is a library. We can go to the library to learn new things. What can we find at a library? There are lots of books at a library. We can read books to learn about different topics. There's also librarians at a library. Librarians sometimes have story time where they read the book to you and you can learn from the things you read. You can also find computers in a library. People use computers to learn things. They go on the internet and the internet will tell them what they need to know about a specific topic. Have you ever been to a library before? I like going to the library. There are so many books to choose from. You can find a book for anything you like. Another place in our community where we can learn something is a museum. Museums are lots of fun. There may be an art museum in your community, or maybe a children's museum, or a science museum. There are lots of different types of museums, and each museum can teach you about something different. At a science museum, you can learn things that were discovered by scientists. Scientists are community helpers. They help us to learn about the world around us. Today, we are going to read a book. This book is about community helpers that help us to learn, but it's also about other community helpers that we've been learning last week and this week. This book will give us clues about different community helpers, and we have to guess which community helper it's talking about. The title of our book today is Whose Hands Are These? We're going to see our community helpers' hands, and they're going to be doing different things with their hands, and we have to guess who they are. The author of our book is Miranda Paul. She is the person who wrote all the words we're going to read today. And our illustrator is Lucina Powell. She's the one who drew all the beautiful pictures that we're going to see. Are you ready to read today's book? Excellent. Whose hands are these? A community helper guessing book. Oh, look, here is our title page. Our title page shows us the title of our book again, and it also lists the author and illustrator. Okay, ready? Hands can wiggle, hands can clap, hands can rap and flap and tap. But hands can help, so raise yours please. Can you guess whose hands are these? Okay, are you ready? Let's guess whose hands they are. Hoe and sow, these hands are soiled. Sweep and reap, these hands have toiled. In the barn, these hands are charmers. These hands belong to many farmers. The hands we just saw belong to farmers. We learned about farmers. Farmers are in a group of community helpers who provide and grow food for us. Farmers grow different crops like fruits and vegetables, and they also raise animals. We can eat the animals, or we can use some things that the animals provide, like the milk from cows or eggs from chickens. Okay, let's keep reading. Choose, peruse, these hands are picky. Mix and mash, these hands are sticky. These hands flip through food-stained books. These hands belong to gifted. Do you know who they belong to? They are mixing different ingredients. These hands belong to gifted cooks. When we learned about cooks, we called them chefs when we learned about them. Chefs are cooks, are community helpers. They help prepare our food. Okay, let's see who our next community helper is. Stop and go. These hands are waving. Catch that guy. He's misbehaving. These hands help keep the peace. Hold yours up. It's the police. We learned about police officers this week. We learned that police officers are one community helper that keeps us safe. Okay, let's see who our next helper is. Quest and test, these hands are turning. Test again, these hands are learning. Weigh and count, their work persists. These hands belong to scientists. We just talked about scientists. We said that we can go to a science museum in our community and we can learn different things that scientists have discovered. Okay, let's see who our next community helper is. Push and play, these hands are shaping. Wet with clay, these hands are scraping. These hands keep on adding water. These are the hands of one great potter. A potter is someone who uses clay to make different things like cups and bowls and pots. We didn't talk about a potter, but a potter is a community helper. They make things that we need. Okay, let's keep reading. Taking notes, these hands are writing. Breaking story, how exciting. These hands can type or hold recorders. These hands belong to news reporters. We didn't talk much about news reporters, but news reporters are community helpers. They help in your neighborhood. They report the news that is going on around your neighborhood or your community. Yank and crank, these hands are smeared. Reach and wrench, they've disappeared. When something breaks, these hands don't panic. These hands belong to a mechanic. We learned about mechanics when we talked about community helpers that help us fix or build things. Mechanics help us fix different machinery. Okay, let's read about our next community helper. Dream and sketch, these hands draw lines. Stack and build, they form designs. Measure twice, check all the specs. These hands belong to architects. Architects are people who design different buildings, and they use construction workers or carpenters to help them build those buildings. Architects are very important. They design the buildings so that we can live or use them in our community. Arms up high, these hands keep score. Throwing flags, they say no more. Each hand signs and oversees. These hands belong to referees. Referees are community helpers. They help in sports. They make sure everyone is following the rules. Okay, let's see who our next community helper is. Rub and scrub, these hands are clean. Wearing gloves, these hands are green. These hands all have healing missions. These hands belong to your physicians. A physician is another name for a doctor. We talked about doctors yesterday. They are community helpers that help keep us healthy. Come on in. These hands wave sweetly. Caked in chalk, these hands write neatly. These hands care for kids and creatures. These hands belong to helpful teachers. We talked about teachers today. Teachers are community helpers that help us to learn. Many teachers work at schools, but teachers can be anywhere in your community. Greeting, eating, dressing, sharing, cleaning, caring, or repairing, let your hands try something new. One day, what could your hands do? If you could be any community helper in your community when you grow up, what would you want your hands to do? Would you want to be a scientist or a mechanic? Maybe a teacher or an architect? A cook? A farmer? Or what would you like to do when you grow up? Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. And that's the end of our story. This book was about many different community helpers that we've been learning about the past few days. Community helpers are very important because they make sure our community keeps working. When everyone does their part in the community, it makes everyday life much easier. You can be community helpers too, right now. You can be a community helper by helping others. You can teach someone something. You can help cook food with your parents. You can help your parents build things if they're building something around the house, or even fix something. You don't have to go to school to be a community helper. You can help in your own special way. I hope you enjoyed our book today and learning all about community helpers. I'll see you tomorrow for circle time. Bye. Hi everyone, if you enjoyed this video, click the like button. And if you would like to see more videos just like this one from Miss April's classroom, make sure you click subscribe.